Since the dawn of civilization, mankind has not merely sought control over territories or material wealth, but something far more subtle and insidiously powerful: dominion over the emotions and perceptions of others. What distinguishes kings from peasants, generals from soldiers, leaders from followers, is not merely physical strength or fortune, but the profound ability to shape the thoughts and feelings of those around them. But what if there existed a forbidden guide, long hidden from the common gaze, revealing precisely how to achieve this formidable power? Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychologist, understood profoundly that emotions are not just instinctual responses. They are hidden forces capable of shaping destinies and entire civilizations. Jung warned of the potent, unseen realms of the unconscious mind, a dimension where our true motivations, deepest desires, and hidden fears reside. The problem we universally confront is clear and timeless. Too often, we feel powerless, manipulated by external forces we do not understand. Whether in personal relationships, professional careers, or everyday interactions, we desperately seek respect, influence, and emotional mastery. Throughout this video, you will not encounter commonplace rules or superficial advice on emotional intelligence. Instead, we will immerse ourselves deeply into potent, dangerous, and rarely unveiled techniques. Step by step, we will extract a forbidden manual for achieving absolute emotional dominance, enabling you not only to master your own emotions, but also decisively influence those around you. Prepare yourself to journey through complex philosophical territories, analyze iconic historical figures, and discover exactly how these principles can be leveraged in the modern world. By the end of the next few minutes, you will no longer be the same. Your perception of emotions, power, and influence will have been fundamentally transformed. But be warned, this knowledge is a double-edged sword, a force capable of both uplifting and destroying. If you are ready to wield this power responsibly, follow me closely. What you will learn here may alter the trajectory of your life forever. Law 1. Master the art of emotional detachment. The principle. Emotional detachment is not about suppressing your feelings, but rather mastering the subtle art of stepping outside your emotions to maintain clarity and control. Philosophical deconstruction. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once remarked, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Emotional detachment aligns with Stoicism. It teaches you to observe your feelings objectively rather than becoming their victim. By cultivating emotional distance, you strengthen your ability to influence situations rather than be influenced by them. Historical case study. Consider Julius Caesar at the banks of the Rubicon. Facing an irreversible decision that could lead to greatness or doom, Caesar famously remarked, "The die is cast." His emotional detachment allowed him to view the stakes without fear, panic, or excitement clouding his judgment. Caesar's composed resolve became his ultimate tool for influencing an entire empire's destiny. Contemporary application. Today, emotional detachment is essential in business negotiations, social media conflicts, or high-stress careers. Those who master it remain unflustered by criticism and maintain the upper hand during tense situations, gaining respect and authority. The arsenal, practical application. Always pause before responding emotionally. Let the initial emotional surge pass. Visualize the situation as though you're observing it happen to someone else, gaining immediate perspective. Law 2. Harness the power of mirroring. The principle. Mirroring subtly involves adopting gestures, speech patterns, and even emotional rhythms of another person to build unconscious trust and rapport. Philosophical deconstruction. Carl Jung introduced the concept of psychological mirroring through the theory of the shadow and the unconscious collective. By reflecting aspects of someone else's behavior, you evoke their subconscious affinity towards you. Mirroring leverages innate human desire for validation, fostering immediate influence. Historical case study. In Renaissance courts, courtiers who mirrored their king's mannerisms gained unrivaled favor. Cardinal Richelieu, advisor to Louis XIII, masterfully mirrored the king's moods and speech patterns, becoming his indispensable confidant. His mirroring technique ensured that Louis felt deeply understood and secure in his influence. Contemporary application. Today, mirroring is crucial in job interviews, client meetings, or even dates. Subtly adopting speech rhythms or gestures reassures the other party subconsciously that you understand them, enhancing your persuasive power. The arsenal, practical application. Notice subtle gestures, posture, or speech pace, and gently mimic them. Use verbal mirroring by repeating key phrases or emotional keywords they use, signaling deep understanding. Law 3. Leverage the law of reciprocity. The principle. People feel compelled to reciprocate when given something valuable, be it a favor, compliment, or emotional investment. Philosophical deconstruction. The ancient philosopher Confucius emphasized reciprocity as the cornerstone of human relationships. Psychologically, humans feel indebted when kindness or attention is offered freely. Leveraging this inherent trait creates strong emotional bonds and an implicit sense of obligation. Historical case study. Benjamin Franklin famously used reciprocity to convert enemies into allies. He borrowed rare books from rivals, returning them promptly with gratitude. This created psychological debt, ultimately fostering lasting friendships and political alliances crucial to Franklin's rise. Contemporary application. Modern leaders and influencers offer knowledge, support, or genuine compliments, naturally fostering loyalty and influence. On social media, reciprocity can turn followers into advocates and collaborators. The arsenal, practical application. Proactively offer assistance or praise without immediate expectation. When asking for something significant, first give something of clear value to invoke reciprocal obligation naturally. With these foundational laws, you've learned to detach emotionally, harness mirroring, and leverage reciprocity. You're now equipped to influence deeply, yet ethically. But these principles form merely the foundation. Ahead lie more complex, powerful, and even dangerous strategies for mastering emotional dominance. At this juncture, you've absorbed critical foundational insights into emotional power. Mastering emotional detachment to remain unshakable. Harnessing mirroring to establish immediate subconscious rapport. And strategically leveraging reciprocity to invoke deep-seated feelings of obligation and trust. These fundamental laws are not merely defensive strategies. They equip you with the foundational armor needed to navigate the turbulent currents of human interaction. You now possess an essential baseline for emotional influence, allowing you to command respect and navigate delicate dynamics with precision and calm. Yet, these foundational rules are merely the beginning, the calm surface of a much deeper, darker ocean. The true art of emotional dominance goes far beyond defense and self-control. Now we step into deeper, more enigmatic waters, into tactics considered advanced, subtle, and by many, ethically ambiguous. The following laws are not intended for the faint-hearted or the casually curious. They represent offensive maneuvers, methods of actively shaping perceptions, bending realities, and subtly sculpting the emotional responses of others to align precisely with your intentions. Prepare yourself for what lies ahead. These advanced techniques have been deliberately concealed from the masses. Hidden within the wisdom of philosophers, strategists, and psychologists across centuries. They have empowered historical leaders and influential figures to transform entire societies and command legacies that endure to this day. Proceed cautiously. The knowledge you are about to encounter possesses extraordinary potential and equally significant risk. Once mastered, it grants you profound capabilities. But remember, With such power comes immense responsibility. If you are prepared to embrace this responsibility and dive deeper into this forbidden art, continue forward. Law 4. Strategic vulnerability. The art of controlled disclosure. The principle. Strategic vulnerability involves deliberately sharing personal struggles or weaknesses in a controlled manner to foster deep emotional bonds and profound influence. Philosophical deconstruction. Carl Jung described vulnerability as the gateway to genuine human connection. Revealing our true selves evokes empathy and trust. However, strategically managed vulnerability harnesses this power without risking true exposure, ensuring control remains in your hands. This calculated openness elicits emotional reciprocity, compelling others to lower their defenses. Historical case study. Consider Winston Churchill during World War II. Churchill masterfully shared moments of calculated vulnerability in public speeches, openly admitting Britain's daunting challenges. This transparency built unprecedented national unity, emotional commitment, and unwavering public trust, enhancing Churchill's authority. Contemporary application. Leaders today deploy controlled vulnerability during crises or pivotal moments, acknowledging struggles without relinquishing power. Entrepreneurs publicly share challenges they've overcome to inspire loyalty and trust, crafting their public personas to be relatable yet authoritative. The arsenal. Practical application. Share carefully chosen personal anecdotes that illustrate your humanity but emphasize resilience or a growth narrative. Reveal limited vulnerabilities strategically during critical discussions to build deeper emotional connections without risking authority. Law 5. The illusion of choice. Subtle emotional steering. The principle. Influence is strongest when individuals believe decisions are entirely their own. Offering carefully curated options creates an illusion of freedom while you steer emotional responses subtly toward your preferred outcome. Philosophical deconstruction. Machiavelli famously declared, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Modern psychology affirms his insight through the paradox of choice. Humans crave autonomy, yet too many options overwhelm them. Providing limited, carefully framed choices subtly directs others' emotional preferences while preserving their illusion of independence. Historical case study. The ancient Roman Senate expertly deployed this tactic, framing critical decisions as choices between two acceptable but controlled outcomes. Citizens felt empowered by their apparent autonomy, ensuring compliance without rebellion. Contemporary application. In marketing or leadership roles, framing two favorable yet subtly directed choices dramatically increases acceptance. Employers offer employees perceived autonomy by presenting two tasks, both beneficial to organizational goals, increasing compliance and satisfaction. The arsenal. Practical application. Always frame options within clear boundaries that subtly guide the desired choice, creating emotional comfort through the perception of freedom. Present your favored choice slightly more positively while positioning it alongside a less appealing but acceptable alternative. Law 6. Cultivate mystique. The power of selective silence. The principle. Maintaining an aura of mystery through selective silence increases your perceived authority and power, compelling others to project their own interpretations, often elevating your influence. Philosophical deconstruction. Nietzsche declared, "Everything profound loves a mask." By consciously withholding information, you encourage others to fill emotional gaps with heightened imagination and intrigue. Mystique capitalizes on humanity's natural curiosity and tendency to idealize what they don't fully understand. Historical case study. The enigmatic persona of Leonardo da Vinci exemplifies this perfectly. Despite his vast intellectual contributions, Leonardo carefully guarded personal thoughts, enhancing his mystique. His contemporaries revered him, projecting extraordinary genius and reverence upon him precisely because he revealed so little about himself. Contemporary application. Modern influencers and leaders leverage selective silence, revealing carefully chosen insights while withholding others. CEOs use strategic silence during negotiations, forcing others to speak first and reveal emotional intentions, increasing their leverage. The arsenal. Practical application. Speak deliberately, limiting unnecessary personal details, ensuring every revelation strengthens your authoritative image. Master pauses during conversations, creating spaces others feel compelled to fill, thus enhancing your emotional leverage. Law 7. Emotional anchoring. The art of conditioning responses. The principle. Emotional anchoring strategically conditions individuals to associate you with powerful positive or negative emotions, creating lasting influence on their subconscious responses. Philosophical deconstruction. Ivan Pavlov demonstrated classical conditioning, the subconscious linking of external stimuli with emotional responses. This psychological principle, applied intentionally, allows you to trigger consistent emotional reactions in others through subtle cues. Historical case study. Queen Elizabeth I of England frequently staged grand public events associating her presence with security, prosperity, and triumph. Subjects subconsciously anchored their deepest feelings of patriotism and security directly to her, solidifying loyalty and influence throughout her reign. Contemporary application. Politicians and brands today repeatedly pair their image with positive emotions, hope, success, stability, to condition public emotional responses. Influential individuals strategically reinforce emotional anchors through consistent behavior or repeated symbolic actions. The arsenal. Practical application. Consistently associate your presence or actions with positive experiences, reinforcing subconscious positive emotional links. Identify key emotional triggers for your audience and deliberately pair these triggers with your desired image or message. You've now delved deeply into advanced emotional strategies, techniques potent enough to influence others profoundly. Use them wisely, for their power lies in their subtlety and the ethical responsibility accompanying mastery of such potent knowledge. Throughout this profound exploration, we have traversed the hidden paths of emotional power, uncovering tactics that few dare to openly discuss, let alone master. We began by establishing foundational principles, mastering emotional detachment to achieve clarity, utilizing mirroring to create deep subconscious rapport, and invoking the law of reciprocity to foster powerful emotional connections. These laws form the defensive core, essential for anyone who seeks mastery over themselves and influence upon others. Yet we did not halt at mere foundations. You have advanced further, stepping boldly into the subtle complexities of strategic vulnerability, understanding how a calculated reveal of personal truths can profoundly bind others to your vision. You've mastered the illusion of choice, learning to subtly steer emotional outcomes while preserving others' feelings of autonomy. You now understand the potency of cultivating mystique, selectively managing silence to enhance your perceived authority. Finally, you've discovered emotional anchoring, the subtle art of conditioning emotional responses, cementing your influence deep within the subconscious mind. However, as your mentor on this journey, I must offer a crucial ethical admonition. The power you now possess is extraordinary, yet perilous. Emotional influence wielded carelessly can easily transform into manipulation or exploitation. Remember, true power is not merely about dominating others. It lies in self-control, self-awareness, and using emotional insight to uplift rather than oppress. You hold in your hands a double-edged sword. You may use this knowledge to construct bridges or tear them apart, to inspire trust or incite fear. I trust you to choose wisely, using these formidable tools to protect, uplift, and enrich not only your life, but those around you as well. In the comments below, Share which advanced tactic you found most powerful and explain why. If this journey toward emotional mastery resonates with you, subscribe to the channel. Together, we will continue unraveling the profound secrets of human psychology. Your like signifies that you value and respect the gravity of this powerful knowledge. Embrace this wisdom responsibly and become truly powerful, emotionally powerful, in the deepest, most meaningful sense. You're not just watching content anymore. You're becoming the architect. Let's go.